Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Ahmad Aiman Solihin bin AZMAN. My matrix number 1232254. So inshallah, for today, I would like to present my case review. My case is State Government of Negeri Sembilan and others against Muhammad Juzaili, Muhammad Khamis and others. The citation for this case is 2015 8 CLJ 975. Okay, and then we continue. So in this slide, this presentation will consist of four parts: fact of the case, issue of the case, legal argument, and lastly, court decision. Okay, firstly, facts of the case. Facts of the case. For this case, the appellants were three transgender women applied for judicial review of Section 66 of the Shariah Criminal Enactment 1992 Negeri Sembilan on the grounds that it was unconstitutional. And then Section 66 make it an offense for a Muslim man to wear a woman's attire or pose as a woman in public. Those convicted face a 1,000 fine, a term of imprisonment not exceeding 6 months, or both. The appellant was described in the case as Muslim men who were not normal male because they have gender identity disorder, as we call it GID in short form. And then the appellant from a young age, they have been expressing themselves as a woman and showing mannerism of the feminine gender, such as wearing women's clothes and using makeups. Each of the appellant had been repeatedly arrested, detained, and prosecuted pursuant to the Section 66 of the enactment. And then the appellants applied to the High Court for judicial review of Section 66, arguing that it should be declared void, as it violated a number of their constitutional rights, including their right to equality. The High Court dismissed the application, and the appellant were granted leave to appeal in this case. Okay, and then we continue to the issue of the case. Okay, for this case review, I put three issues so we can manage to more understanding why. In the fact of the case, the appellant issue claiming that there are Section 66 are unconstitutional. Firstly, the issue is whether Section 66 of the Shariah Criminal Enactment 1992, Enactment 4 of 1992, Negeri Sembilan, the enactment is in breach of Article 5, Subsection 1 of the Federal Constitution. Secondly, whether Section 66 of the enactment contravenes Article 9, Paragraph 2 of the Federal Constitution. And then lastly, whether Section 66 of the enactment contrary with Article 8, Paragraph 1 of the Federal Constitution. Okay, so this is the answer for the issue. The first issue is, the answer is the appellant counsel submitted that Section 66 violates the appellant's right to live with dignity, which is also guaranteed by Article 5, Paragraph 1. This is because learned counsel submitted that Section 66 is in contrast with the existence of the appellants and all other GID sufferers by which it is present to the effect from this section being enforced, where it creates insecurity and vulnerability into the life of appellants and other Muslim male person that suffers this gender identity disorder. Secondly, whether Section 66 of the enactment contravene Article 9, Paragraph 2 of the Federal Constitution. The answer is the appellant submit that Section 66 is contrary to Article 9, Paragraph 2 of the Federal Constitution on the ground that the impact section effect, it is denied the appellants and sufferers of the GID right to move freely in public places, as they can't be able to go out from their home freely without being exposed to being arrested for cross-dressing and being sanctioned under Section 66. And then for the third issue, in this case, the appellant argued that Section 66 of the enactment contravene Article 8, Paragraph 1 of the Federal Constitution. They allege that even though Section 66 provides for equal treatment for all Muslim male, the appellants as JID sufferers are not the same as the other Muslim, so they must be differently placed and treated. Since there is a fatal omission from the part of the legislature is in not providing an exception for the person that suffers GID under Section 66, this impound sanction is submitted to be discriminatory. Okay, so this part for legal argument that have been played in the court and that in this case. So from the perspective of appellant argument, the appellant argue that Section 66 violated Article 5, Paragraph 1 of the Constitution, which guarantees that no person shall be deprived of his or her life and personal liberties except in accordance with law. The effect of Section 66 was that they and other sufferers of JID were at constant risk of arrest for expressing themselves in a way which is part of their experience of being human. And then the section discriminates the core identity of the appellant on the basis of their gender, identity, and build vulnerability and insecurity into the life of all Muslim males with JID. It degraded and devalued persons with JID and was therefore inconsistent with the appellant's right to live with dignity guaranteed by Article 5, Paragraph 1 of the Federal Constitution. Okay, and then further, Section 66 render the appellant's right to a livelihood or work which is encompassed by Article 5, Paragraph 1, illusory because they were never able to leave their homes, cross-dress, to travel, to work without the risk of arrest and prosecution under Section 66. In addition, Section 66 is inconsistent. Section 66 is inconsistent with Article 9, Paragraph 2, which guarantees freedoms of movement. And then Section 66 also violated Article 8, Paragraph 1 of the Constitution, which protect the right to equality before the law and equal protection of the law. The appellants were not in the same conditions as Muslim men because they suffered from GID. They should not therefore be treated on equal basis like Muslim men, like other Muslim men. Section 66 was therefore discriminatory because it treated persons who were not like in the same way. In addition, Section 66 also violated Article 8, Paragraph 2 of the Constitution, which provides that there shall be no discrimination in any law on the basis of gender, because it prevented male Muslim from cross-dressing, but not female Muslim. Okay, so here I attach together with the respondent argument. It said that amongst other things, the state argued that Section 66 did not cause any prejudice to the appellants because persons with GID were of unsound mind. The appellants and others with GID therefore had a defense to any charges under Section 66. The state also argued that Section 66 is a personal law, pursuant to Article 8, Paragraph 2 of the Constitution, which allows for personal laws which discriminate on the basis of, amongst other things, gender. In addition, the state filed an affidavit sworn by the Mufti of the State of Negeri Sembilan, attesting that the offence created by Section 66 is in accordance with the principle of Islam. And then lastly, court decision for this case. So the Land Council has holding the decision, which is we can found that Section 66 was inconsistent with a number of fundamental liberties contained within the Part 2 of the Constitution and was therefore unconstitutional. It was not disputed that all Islamic law must also be consistent with the Part 2 of the Constitution. Article 4, Paragraph 1 of the Constitution provides that any law that is consistent with the Constitution shall be void to the extent of that inconsistency, and accordingly Section 66 was void. And then, in reaching its decision, the court emphasized that the question for it was not whether Section 66 is consistent with the principle of Islam, nor did the court accept the argument of the state that Section 66 was not detrimental to the appellants because persons suffering from GID were persons of unsound mind and so had a defense upon them. In finding so, the court stated that it is absurd and insulting to suggest that the appellate and other transgenders a person of unsound mind. Okay, so for my recommendation in this case, I think from section 66 of the enactment, I think the state must the state must put the exception on this enactment because as you all know, not all of the people have a same condition on regarding to their health. So we must respect on their condition. So maybe we need to put some exception on this enactment to be governed the offense through all the Muslim men that cross-dress in that state. So that's all from me. Thank you so much, Doctor. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.